going on, everybody? This is Justin, co-creator of Meta Sci-Fi, and I'm just here to talk to you about the current state of comic books. Comic books are me and my boy Phil's passion. We talk about them every day. We read them every day, and we want to post some questions and maybe give you some answers. Now, my statement today, or rather my question is, who's winning? Marvel or DC? I'm not talking about some generic answer like Marvel because of the movies or DC because of tradition. I'm talking about hardcore facts and what's actually going on with their line and branding overall. Now, let's not get it twisted. Marvel right now most definitely has movies. I'm not going to sit here and pretend they don't. Avengers 2, Captain America, a slew of things that have just been box office successes. And whether or not you agree with how they handle certain things, from the taking out of the shrapnel in Iron Man's chest, or the fact that Bucky was the same age as Captain America, the relationship between the Hulk and, his love interests, all that shit doesn't matter because the movies are just successes, and we can't pretend they're not. On that very same note, though, DC realistically is running television as far as comic books go. DC owns Vertigo, so if you didn't know, they own iZombie, which is a pretty good success. It's on their second season, and the ratings aren't going down at all. We're not even going to get to talking about Gotham, because even if you don't like it, it's on Fox, and it's killing it right now. And even better, The Flash, which is just a runaway hit, no pun intended. And Green Arrow, which is the thing that really started it all. And Supergirl, which I personally don't even really like, but apparently everybody loves. As a matter of fact, it had the #1 ever debut of a comic book TV series of all time. More than The Walking Dead, more than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is doing good now, but let's be honest, that first season wasn't nothing special. More than anything, let's not forget their animated TV shows, which were more critically acclaimed and, in all honesty, just better. And I don't know, does anyone really want to watch Spider-Man Web Warriors? Because that show's pretty good. Have you seen Hulk Smash? Agents of Smash? That shit was cheeks. Look, all I'm saying is, let's look at it from every perspective. Now, as far as movies, Marvel has it. As far as television, DC has it. Let's look at the comic book line. 2 months ago, it looks like Marvel doubled their share of the market. I'm not talking exaggerations here, nor am I really talking what they're projected to do. No, they owned 49% of the comic book market, actual comic book sales. Diamond released that. That's insane. I've never heard no shit like that in my life. And to be fair, DC hasn't been doing what they need to be doing. They gave us Convergence, was supposed to bring the old universe back, which everyone was waiting for. Woohoo, woohoo, no more New 52 because, people are bitching about that. And they kind of bait and switched us here. They gave us a little bit of what it could be, and we want to see a whole bunch of the, classic Supermans and pre-crisis Flash fighting some crazy force we've never seen before. But no, Earth 2 was actually just fighting some gay version of Brainiac, and it kind of was a letdown. And we've been kind of left in limbo ever since. Like, I don't know how current Justice League Darkseid War actually fits into the continuity. I don't know when Superman lost or gained his powers. I don't know if Bruce Wayne already went through all that amnesia and came back or not. I'm very confused about a lot of stuff, and they're not really explaining it. Meanwhile, on the other end of reboots, kind of, sort of, in the big two, Secret Wars still isn't over. And I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of concerned. I was supposed to get that like 4 months ago. Shit, they told me I was going to get that this month. Didn't happen. So I don't know how Tony Stark got his regular personality back. I don't know how many universes there are anymore. I don't know if T'Challa and Namor are cool, and that bothers me because they seem cool in Secret Wars 8, but they can't be cool. But apparently there's no problem. As a matter of fact, where the fuck is Namor? Somebody answer me that. That's neither here nor there, though. With all the confusion going on between DC and between Marvel, it still seems that Marvel's just putting out, unfortunately, more interesting books than DC is putting out. For every 5 or 6 interesting books that like DC's putting out, shit, Marvel's putting out like 15. You know, I can't lie. I was looking at my bin the other day, and there's more Marvel in there than DC, which is concerning. Because Marvel has so much legacy and characters, and they're not utilizing it. Whereas Marvel is kind of like hitting their stride because they don't really need their legacy characters like that anymore. A lot of these new fans and new people that I'm seeing in the comic book stores are so fresh and new to comic book culture that they're just grasping on whatever they see on, the movie side and running with it, which is brilliant marketing. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, besides the actual numbers of Marvel, which, like I said, owns 49, almost half of the market, 49% of the market, to DC's 23, they've worked in a way that works in tandem with their movies. And like I said before, there's a lot of newer people, a lot of new fresh faces in the culture that just grasp on what they see on the movies and then reverberate it with their comic book sales. Brilliant marketing. DC just hasn't caught up to that yet. Hopefully they do that with this Batman Superman movie. Hopefully they can do that with their next movies, and hopefully they can do that with their TV line because, let's be honest, Flash is a very interesting and well-rated show. Arrow, like I said before, is the thing that started it all and still going strong. And I feel like they need to tap into that. Which brings me to my final point. As crass as it's going to sound, Marvel is unfortunately just cooler right now. Their branding is just overall better and more appealing to not just people like me that like cool shit, but people in general. Like, it's hard not to like a trailer of Captain America being so badass and honest in that fresh new uniform and not being an uptight prick. Whereas, Man of Steel, which in my opinion was a great movie, Superman wasn't. Henry Cavill didn't do a cool Superman. He just did Superman. And I guess that is hard to connect with a younger generation. And just a generation that seems more savvy to being cool anyway. Like, it's hard to market a superhero that doesn't smile and crack jokes. You know what I mean? It's hard when you have someone that's funny and interesting as Star-Lord, and then you put someone on the screen as, I don't want to say boring, but as boring and, mild-mannered as a Henry Cavill Superman. It's hard to hold that connection. And I have to be really honest. Given the fact that today's media works constantly, you need something that holds your attention at all times. And Marvel has just figured out a great way of doing that. So, back to the scoreboard here. Marvel has movies. DC has TV. Marvel has comics. And they have overall branding. Marvel's winning right now. And DC either has to accept that or make a major change. Because when DCU came out and they tried to rebrand and make themselves cooler, it was a little too late. Marvel already figured out that formula about 4 or 5 years ago. So they're playing catch up for about half of a decade, which is going to be rough. So, I'm sorry, DC, you're always going to be in my heart, but Marvel, you're just winning right now. More power to you.